right, welcome to Running a Fever. I guess you should probably say that.
Don't have to go to the rocks.
Devil's Den State Park. Very crowded here at a Saturday afternoon at Devil's Den State Park near Winslow, Arkansas. And I've talked about this park a lot, but this trail, and I've even shown you pictures of it, my before and after pictures. Never done video, and I don't think I've done a podcast from here. That's what we're doing today. We've had some very cold weather, and today it's in the 60s, maybe even 70, I don't know. It's pretty warm.
Oh my gosh, yes.
What did you say?
Or mellow mushroom.
What's mellow mushroom?
Oh, it's the best piece of fruit ever.
So we're going to be running into a lot of people on the route. But anyway, it's good to be here. I'll provide some of this video. You got to check out the YouTube channel. I'm doing a lot more video these days. Also, and I don't think you know this, but today is the 1 year anniversary of recording the first podcast, the first episode of Running a Fever. 1 year ago today. November 17th. (2017). Lots happened, and I've hit a lot of milestones, so I've had a lot of review retrospective recently when we hit the goal of 2 laps around Lake Fayetteville. I hit the 100th episode, so I'm not going to do that now. But it does feel good to have stuck with this for a year. Not just the podcast, but the program of exercise, medicine, and diet. Howdy.
Hey.
Medical report, medical department. If you have a food allergy, be sure to get in the habit of reading labels of everything. There's a lot of people bring their dogs on the trail, and they have to avoid conflicts. I found out that almost every kind of nut that I can buy in the grocery store contains peanut oil. It's not just as simple as switching to pecans or almonds or cashews. They all contain peanut oil. Okay?
Enjoying the view.
Even the bulk nuts that you can get all say thank you. Processed with machinery that also uses peanuts. They're everywhere. Thus far, I've not found a single type of nut or seed that doesn't either have peanut oil, may contain peanuts, processed with machinery that processes peanuts, etc. Read the labels. And I was actually at the high-end store, Whole Foods today, and even they do not have peanut-free merchandise. Fortunately, my allergies are relatively mild for now, so it's not killing me when I eat all this stuff with peanuts in it. Well, that looks nice, huh? See, we're both sporting the, oh great, now this is all messed up. Anyway, we're both wearing our official limited edition, very rare Running a Fever t-shirts. Only 8 of them exist in the world. You have to be a very dedicated listener to get one of these. So that's what I'm dealing with the allergy. It's a new thing. Restaurants, wow, I don't know what I'm going to do about restaurants because it's probably the same story. Fortunately, I don't eat at them very often. Diet department. I've already had my first Blue Zone meal. Beautiful scenic views department. Just no words are necessary.
It's not like a pain, is it? It's just like a
No, it's not like a pain.
Had a Blue Zone smoothie. What did that have in it? Frozen berries, of course. Almond milk.
Probably just a little bruised, baby.
Vanilla. There are ladybugs everywhere. A little bit of honey. What else was in there?
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon. And salt. Would have been delicious, but I put too much salt in there. And I don't need any salt necessarily, so. There you go. It's feeling kind of warm here to me
It is.
with the 2 layers of clothing on. Tonight, the plan is to have some sort of pasta or vegetable that looks like pasta. Well, isn't that what spaghetti
It's our very, very first stop.
squash is? I mean, what is it? I don't even know.
Spaghetti squash
Yeah?
or zucchini noodles.
Okay. So they're vegetables that look like pasta, basically.
Yes.
Okay. So, I don't know, this may have stopped recording already. It's just. Still going, apparently. With Sardinian tomato sauce. Had to get a special type of tomato for this. But when you're making tomato sauce, the tomato is pretty important. So it's made with skinned, seeded, peeled Italian plum tomatoes. I found some at Whole Foods that I think fit the requirements. And then you have some pretty common stuff, although howdy.
How's it going?
Something unusual is it uses a carrot and celery, not as actual ingredients, but you put them in the mix and while you're simmering it, and then you take it out later. So you don't actually eat them, they just are used to flavor somehow. Anyway, we're going to try that, and I like that because I'll make a lot of it and get to freeze some of it, and so it saves time in the long run. One of the characteristics of the Blue Zone lifestyle, and of course, if you haven't heard, the Blue Zone is Blue Zones are areas around the world where people live to be 100, very long-lived people, and far more often than other places. Part of that lifestyle is cooking. When you cook a meal, it burns 300 more calories. You didn't realize that when you're actually in the kitchen making it yourself.
I did not know that.
So, and the fewer labor-saving devices you use, for example, mashing your potatoes by hand instead of using a food processor. Obviously, the more work you do. Howdy. Buddy, I'm limited with time. By the way, hope you enjoyed the Monday special this week, which was about Walmart pickup. Even though now I have decided to stop using Walmart pickup. For that reason, it makes me more active if I have to get out and go in the grocery store. And the other reason is that I like to pick out my own fresh vegetables, etc. Next Monday, there will be another Monday special released, so 2 weeks in a row. And this one is going to be about oatmeal and the glycemic index. So check that out. One of the little things I'm doing lately is I'm thinking about cutting down on my meat intake, replacing it with more beans so I still get the protein. And it really comes from the Blue Zone idea. There may be some reasons to keep eating meat, and I certainly don't intend to cut it out completely, but some of my dishes like chili, I can use less meat and more beans without too much difficulty. Also reducing the amount of diet soda that I drink, which is currently quite a bit. I don't know, I like to keep like several cases of Fresca around. And so I'm going to start reducing that. And I've been mixing it with some diet cran grape and some cold filtered water. And that's been working just fine. So I'm just going to probably change that process, increase it, and eliminate some of the maybe extra sodium and God knows what is in those artificial sweeteners. So much for diet department.
I think you should do some research on the types of beans.
Well,
Black beans are some of the best.
in
Start off.
the book, there's a lot of talk about beans. There's a lot of talk about beans.
There's big differences between different types of beans.
Yeah, and he doesn't recommend kidney beans, which is what I usually use in my chili. I mean, he said they're fine, but
There's better ones out there,
not the best, right?
but they probably taste the same.
Yep, probably. There are a lot of dishes just made with mashed beans. It's a beautiful day. It's probably why there are scads of people out here today. It's maybe our last day of this type, although I'm sure there are people who come out hiking in the wintertime. I don't even know if the park is open
It is.
all winter. It is. So I'm sure there are people who just keep hiking throughout the winter, and that's fine with me as long as it's not icy or anything like that. But today, we've had some freezing weather for the last week or so, to the extent that I'm sure at this point I won't have to mow my yard again. Haven't heard any lawn equipment in the neighborhood. And I usually hear it all the time, so that's a good sign. How y'all doing?
Hi, how are you?
Howdy. Yeah, a lot of dogs. Hello. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be 70 sometime today. I think we've already gotten into the 50s or 60s. Doesn't feel like 50s to me, but I'm moving around quite a bit. In my toasty warm compression shirt and Running a Fever official limited edition rare exclusive to dedicated, devoted Running at Fever listeners. And in fact, if you stop listening and being a devoted listener, I make them turn in the t-shirt, because we can't just have that out there for anybody to wear. But if you want to be one of those, all you have to do, send me a comment or an email, and perhaps the next time you'll be one of them. I just bought 2 more pair of shorts. The saga of my quest for decent shorts is long at this point. And but I bought 2 of a slightly better quality, supposedly, at Academy this time. Not Walmart, which has turned out to be a pretty bad experience. So we'll see how they go. These are from Under Armour. They do feel kind of lightweight, flimsy, slightly snug. Hey. But not too bad so far. Again, we'll see how long they last. If they survive washing and various other things. Because I wear shorts 5 or 6 days a week when I work out or when I do things like this. And when you get down to 1 or 2 pair, it's kind of difficult to keep them clean. So I'm also wearing the knee sleeve that I got, and today I put that on underneath the running pants, or the compression pants, because they're really supposed to stick to skin better. They're meant to do that. How you doing?
Hi.
Compression pants, especially the ones that I bought years ago, understandably not really fitting as well as they first did. But it's winter, and I also don't fit into my old long johns, so I started using the old compression pants as long underwear. So it's time to sort of think about that wardrobe. Of course, it's probably, you might still be able to get some by now you should probably be able to start getting if there are any warm weather clothing left, you should be able to pick it up at a really good price. Academy had a clearance section that was pretty big. Lots of t-shirts and shorts. Shorts were like $5 or something. So we're coming to the scenic overlook. It's pretty awesome. Been here several times. I've got pictures from the other times I've been here. So thanks for listening. Keep on keeping the fever, and I'll talk to you next time. This is the Padua Podcast Network. PaduaMedia.com.